relatively sober.
Okay,
Can we read?
Hey,
I can read.
I'm
I'm
listening.
saying like for
All right.
tomorrow.
So for tonight,
Saturday.
since we have the forum here, the first thing I want to present is a competition committee, and this is to take a little bit of weight off of your shoulders as well.
Fuck Mike.
The way this works is you have a three-person because it's 12 team, like three-person competition committee that decides
I like this.
all disputes and trades, back and forth, the shit that just comes up, rules, yada yada yada. And if it involves two people, so you have two alternates that are. So if it involves one person competition committee, you bring in one alternate. If it involves two people in competition committee, like the majority of issues do, you bring two alternates, and then you vote.
A lot of words.
All in favor of doing that? Hands.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Sure, whatever.
Makes things easier.
All right. So we'll select that.
Let the record state that everyone raised their hands.
And the record show passed. All
And
right.
ain't got to make race
Wait,
mine.
hold on one second. Is
Yes.
this for
Rabble,
this,
rabble, rabble,
wait,
rabble,
is
rabble,
thi-
rabble.
Is this for
Mr.
this coming
Speaker.
year, or is this for
This
the
year.
next year?
This is for here forward.
Here for
Ever
Here,
and
so
here
trade
for-
disputes,
Like here when you said here or here?
Okay, no, that's fine.
So
Here,
henceforth.
right now, henceforth.
Here to
Moving
say-
forward.
Requiem.
Like right
Right
there.
this
Briefcase.
fucking now.
Esse Quam Verde.
all right, we'll wait till everybody's together to vote on who will be in the competition committee to make it fair.
Okay.
Voice. All right, next one
We can
is
still vote them in.
Yeah, we know who we want.
so last place reward is the next thing up to talk about. What I'd like to do is we have an absolute, I want to call it a reward, but punishment in place before the draft starts, and it can't be changed.
Like
For last place?
Wait,
Yeah,
what is it?
it's like you make the
we all agree on the last place punishment, and it stays that.
Maybe we should put that
before
in
we
writing.
draft. Before we draft.
Before
on
draft.
Saturday.
We have, in other words, we
Right.
have to figure out punishment for next year before Saturday.
Does we all agree? We all stick to it.
And we can't change
No
it. Doesn't-
flip-flopping.
We should put it in writing, take
Yeah.
a picture of it, put it up on the
Yeah,
group.
Everybody, all in favor, hands up.
And if somebody doesn't,
All right, passes.
if the last place person
Ban for
doesn't do it, we get it in writing and we sue the fuck out of them.
All right, next one
Okay,
is
no,
There should be like an opt-out fee.
If you
Alright.
don't, if you
Cool.
hold
I
on.
pay $100 and I have
let's,
to do it.
let's go with
Muscle
that.
person.
Stay on that trend for a
$100
second.
each person.
Because I can more than guarantee that Logan's not going to do any of the shit that we.
You might with a hat.
We hold him down and we punch him in the thighs.
So, and we don't have anything in place for that. So, along with that punishment being picked, I want to put a punishment in place for
It's
not
banned.
doing
You're
it.
banned.
No, you no.
Just lose a couple of drafts.
No. It's not that.
Nah, fuck
It's
that.
it's. I had people. I mean, shit. Justin was basically begging to practically come in. He was willing to
Logan
pay
doesn't even really like
$500
football,
straight
guys.
on the fucking spot to join.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
camaraderie.
that's it.
That's an A for effort.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not gonna do
If,
this.
you know what? If he will do this, I will not say another fucking thing.
Well, if he does.
If he does it, I won't say
If he
Well,
anything.
Logan,
Okay,
if he does like every
can we
punishment,
say?
like
It's not ridiculous, but
No,
can we
well,
all
that's-
agree? Vote, hands vote, hand vote.
What's up?
Let's
no,
let me say it
no,
first.
we.
The, vote, the punishment can't be cruel, unusual, or degrading in public.
What do you mean?
In public.
In public. Unlike Trump.
In public.
But in front of everybody here,
Yeah,
that's okay.
Well, we
This is
we
not
have to
public.
decide on everything right now. Like
like
No
what-
tattoos.
no
You kinda-
social, no nothing involving
You
social.
kind
Well-
of want it to be public though, in a way.
No
No,
visible tattoo.
we all agreed that we're gonna get one
Tattoo on the
pro,
asshole.
one pro rep,
Oh.
one con rep. So what I want to do is table this, and let's keep moving through the agenda, and then we'll come back to it because it's gonna
Yeah.
take a while. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So table. Rules of order. Thank you for.
Martin 2016?
All right. So here's the next one. All right, guys. These are gonna get a little more hairy. Okay.
Can I explain
Go for
my keeper's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going into keeper discussion now. Keeper options going forward.
Keeper, hardly no.
Okay.
And this one might take a little bit.
All right. I will
Proceeding
tell you.
henceforth to.
Henceforth,
Say
yeah.
this. Somebody write this down.
Not wrong.
I'm recording
Alright,
everything.
I'm just gonna go ahead
Okay.
and
Oh, you really
proceed
Oh, these chairs are not.
for an example.
Here for.
Hereforth to
Henceforth.
henceforth
Yep.
and not withholding to the before mentioned aforementioned. Connor and Chris worked a deal last year with the loophole in the keeper system
Mhm.
to where
Yeah.
Le'Veon got hurt.
Dropped.
They switched. They traded Bell for Yeldon, correct?
Mhm. 6th round pick.
So now that keeps Bell off free agency for another 2 years. I think free agency should go 2 years, and whether you trade him or not, it's 2 years. After that 2 years, they dump back into free agency.
Basically, kind of like the same thing me and Neil did with Adrian Peterson and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See,
Y'all
that was
also-
some bullshit too. So.
Yeah.
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 I still get my shit though.
Yeah, for this year, it's fine. It's whatever. But
For running backs.
from here going on,
Yeah.
after this season,
just 2 years solid.
2 years or keeper status. After that, regardless of trades, they should dump back in.
And does that make
So
sense
just
to everybody?
no, I
Yeah,
just
that
want
makes
to
sense.
say
That makes sense, and I
Say
say
what?
I'm for that right
Just
there.
look at
Well, I've
keepers.
actually got another alternative.
2 years
to it
keeper.
that
Well,
I
that
wanna
just kind
present.
of, that eliminates some double dealing underneath.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let me
Y'all
y'all
work that
Yeah, what's
shit
your,
out.
what's your, yeah, what do you,
Let me the floor, guys. Listen to my alternative as well, because it's equally as good. It's a little bit different. The way my alternative works, I heard this on one of my trusted podcasts, Fantasy Football. The way they do their league of record is they go a 3-round penalty from where they were drafted from the year before. So for you, Todd Gurley is a 6th-round pick, right?
Right.
So we're not gonna do this year, so we'll do it for next year. But next year, so if it was this year, like because you kept him for this year probably. So if you kept him this year, it'd be a 3rd-round pick. Next year, he'd be a 1st-round pick, and you can hold him forever. But every year, it's a 3-round penalty.
Well, what if you hit
So
number
once
one?
you get
That's
the first, that's it.
Well, you just say he's 1st-round pick as long as you want to keep him.
Yeah.
So what it does is increase
Yeah, I
turnover.
like that.
But if they're a real good player, you get to keep them. You don't have to surrender them.
Well, it's
Alright.
like,
I'd like to say
But-
nay to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me as well.
Yeah, I feel like they should go in the pool.
So all in favor of his
Well, look at
hands
Antonio
off
Brown.
over mine?
No.
Don't
Antonio
answer.
Brown or some shit. You know, you
Go ahead.
Exactly. Like it's unfair. Like he's the number 1 player this
Yeah.
year, but he's gonna be somebody's keeper. So at least like
Actually,
next year
you
when
might
he's
keep
faded a
last
little
year's
bit.
free agent guy.
So-
I understand what
so the
you're
basic
saying.
concept
It
is-
does make sense, but
No, yeah, that makes sense.
it could wind up being really good for one person.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's like it's like if somebody kept Peyton
Well,
Manning.
I mean, if you're
Yeah,
So what if
that'd
you
be my
keep,
first
what
round
if you
pick for
have
5
2 great
years.
keepers and you want to
Like,
keep
you're
them
not
for 3
losing.
years in a
Yeah.
row? You can't lose 2 number 1 picks.
A player can
Exactly.
only be
It's
kept
Just be
once.
1, 2, I guess.
So what you do then
Nah.
is you can't keep. Shit balls.
Yeah.
I don't know that answer.
But if they're worth a 1 and 2 pick every year,
Yeah.
then it's kind
Maybe
of.
once they get
Look
to
at
number
AP.
one,
He's been going strong.
they go back.
Well, yeah. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough, right?
Yeah, that's
So let's
unfair
get back to a
advantage.
1st-round pick. Then you got to recycle them back in the next year.
Yeah, they go back in free agency.
Fair enough.
But what happens if you
I like
draft
that
him in the
idea.
2nd round? He's automatically in the 1st round.
Well, what if they're a 1st-round pick? The
I
first
still
year
get to
you
keep
pick
them
them.
next year
Yeah.
though.
Right.
Keep them.
Okay. All in favor of Matt's idea?
It makes more sense.
Farm.
Wait.
Let the legend
Wait,
know
for
everyone
that,
raised
a
their hand.
person only can be
A person
kept
goes in,
one,
can only be kept 2
once.
years. Yeah.
Yes, so they can only be
Yeah.
kept
Yeah.
once.
So if I trade him to Corey on my first year, 2nd
He
year,
he can keep
Corey-
one
Corey-
additional
He
year.
can-
yeah, that's it.
Wait.
No,
So
no,
that
no,
means
no.
that he could
I'll give you
potentially
I'll give you an
have
example. I got a floor.
1.5 years.
I got a floor again. I got a floor again.
You can't just put it on the floor.
I know. But I'm the chair.
I'll give the class.
examples. It makes it easy. All right. So this year, if somebody drafts Ezekiel Elliott and keeps him this year, and they trade him during midseason next year,
or whatever.
then the person who he traded him to can only keep him for one
One more
year.
year.
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
So he
So-
trades him 2 years. He gets him for the remainder of that season. And he's
Yep,
back to
that's
fly.
So somebody could potentially only keep somebody for like a year, .1.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that makes sense.
I'm cool with that. Everybody good with that?
I'm
So
cool.
you
with that.
fire sell all your players at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, the vote,
2 year
these
keepers.
2 people over here
Yeah,
with their backs
Yeah.
turned.
We're,
What do you mean
we're
you
all in
people?
on that.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
all in?
They're good.
We
Yeah,
keep
they like
it.
it.
We just-
That's
You
12.
people.
Like yours?
The white people.
So you gotta be more specific.
Sorry, guys.
The
I'll
white
take
people,
it for-
The white people.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we're white.
All right, guys.
He's
So
in jeans with no socks on.
Of course, Grayson is white. Look at him.
If I had my shoes on, it'd be even more white. My
Alright,
family's
guys,
like, why do
I
you
won't
wear
keep
thongs
on
so
the
far?
floor.
What else you got, Neil?
all right. So
I noticed when you were showing your
Hey,
tattoo over there.
Nice.
next is I want to talk about doing waivers.
Oh my God, yes, please. Free
Waiver update.
for all. It's free
Waivers?
for all.
No, well, let me explain. The way it is this year is going to be a continuous rolling waiver.
From top to bottom, bottom to top,
Top, no,
top
no.
to
It's,
bottom.
let me. I'll explain it to you. So whoever gets the last pick in the draft has first waiver priority. Once they use that, they go to the last of the line, and it keeps rolling over to whoever uses it each week. It's not like whoever's in last place each
His
week.
first
All right,
pick.
that
That sucks.
I like the
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Last
who
year
the
sucked
hell,
'cause whoever's on
who's
the
actually
gut
going to be keeping
is
track
what
of
they
that?
say.
Yeah.
That's a
Computer
pain in
keeps
the
track of that.
Computer can do that?
Computer.
So,
Thank God. Okay.
And go.
The machines.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
so if you're, say I'm the 12th pick in the draft, I don't want anybody this week, but I want somebody 6 weeks down the road to haven't used my waiver wire yet.
You
Still
get
get for
first.
priority.
Damn right.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
What if
That's
he's in
cool. I
first
like
place?
Yeah.
Well, that works.
I thought it went
Now
off.
here's an
Well,
alternative. Here's an alternative
the
to it.
ranking.
I've got an alternative to it. If y'all can follow, it's gonna take a minute, okay?
Oh,
So, have y'all ever heard of free agent acquisition budget?
No.
Let me explain this. to you.
Yes.
It's very
It's
simple.
getting super complicated.
It's very, very simple. Very simple. What you do is you give everybody $100 to use on any free agent you
Real
want
money?
all year, and you can bid $0 on persons and get them, or you can bid however much you want. So, if this year next David Johnson emerges, and you've got a $100 budget left, you can bid $99, $100 on him. You won't be able to get anybody else the rest of the year.
He sucked his dick.
But you can make sure you
Yeah,
are
question
get
on
him.
that.
So what you're doing is you're
Oh,
basically
geez.
bidding on players. It makes it where every single person has a fair chance to get every single player, no matter what position they're in or waiver priority they are. Everybody can bid. So what it does brings more strategy to the game, where you have to basically look after your money and budget properly, which is fantastic, and it makes it fair for everybody.
It would suck for
Well,
you if you have
Matt,
to.
you're up first.
One second. No, wait a
That
second.
defeats the purpose of the waiver wire.
Exactly.
That is the
That was my hand. Yeah.
we're getting rid of it.
She said.
You just do free agent acquisition
Alright,
budget.
so you're doing.
Free agent acquisition budget. Whoever bids the most for a player every week during waivers wins. Does that make sense?
There's, I mean, what if you burn? You
Yeah,
know, there's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
players that suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear like crazy.
And
I think-
then you can't make as many moves.
Would you
Because
rather-
we have a
would
lot
you
of people in
rather
the league that like to
suck
make
and be in
moves.
first place and not get anybody, or would you rather be able to bid? And you can still bid $0.
I'm just saying, a racing gun.
Great.
Before it comes up, what happens when you run out of money?
You can bid $0 for players. If somebody bids $1, they beat you.
But what if I want to add more money to my budget?
Well, that's on the
Whoa.
commissioner to allow people to take more into the pot.
That's a
Well, what
slippery
you
slope.
lose
That's a
is-
No,
slippery
let's bust it
slope.
out.
It's
That's
not
not-
That's a
No,
slippery
no,
slope.
It's
There's no
fake money,
reason
it's
why
fake money.
people should
It's fake
run
money.
through
It's
that,
fake money.
that much money.
That money, that budget money, is fake money, and it's on Yahoo, and Yahoo tracks it for you.
Yeah.
Anything you can look at your account balance
I like it.
every week. You're not doing anything.
I think it's something that we should look at next year. More.
I don't
Table.
know Connor's
Yeah.
on.
My
Table.
other, another league I'm in, you pay real money to make a trade or fucking
Whoa.
waivers.
Bump the brakes here.
I'm
Whoa. Make a whole lot of money.
this one.
No, it's like $1 or $2.
I make
trade.
$40K a year.
I'm just saying,
My wife doesn't even make 30. Let's cool it a little.
it's $1 or $2. I'm just saying that's another option. I don't really want to do it. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
I'm just saying
Neil,
waiver wire is kind of
Wait,
a
what else we got?
How do you spend money on trades?
You don't.
Hey, into
Oh,
it.
no.
Both people?
I mean,
Yeah,
Is there any way to randomize the waiver wire every week?
that'd be better.
Randomized what?
Waiver
It's a
wire.
randomized waiver
Crap
wire.
shoot.
No,
it's
it's,
against it.
the reason why waiver wires exist is to make the competition feel more even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
we had
nothing
last
more
year-
even than random.
For
No,
that,
no,
it has to
no,
start from the
no,
bottom
because
and
if
go up,
the
though.
because if the first place person gets the first waiver wire priority position, then that's
Well, fuck it.
Right, but that they can also be the 12th pick and be in first place, and now I can sit on I can sit on the first waiver pick until somebody really fucking good hits.
Trust me,
And
once
then
it
I'll
starts
start
playing out,
over
man,
anybody
It's a
else.
valid-
I've done all these, and once it starts playing out, it doesn't. Like in theory, it's scary, but in practice, you'll really like it. I promise you that much.
With the auction?
Kenneth,
no, you
because
got first.
Matt, you
He was
know.
at Matt's first one.
Okay, all right.
I like what you're saying, I like what everybody's saying, but if we keep for the waiver wire start from the bottom, regardless of draft picks, just last place each week gets priority, but it's
Okay.
one pick.
Okay.
It's not multiple picks, but it can change week to week. It is,
Yeah,
it's a
but some
competitive
people are
match
just
thing.
pure shit. Look at Lynn. I mean,
Well, that's the thing. But instead of like last year where person on bottom got as many pickups as they wanted,
Like me.
it's
yeah,
one pick.
Neil had a fucking stack team by the end of the year.
It's one pick and then it goes to the next, up.
Well,
Instead of
how
multiple
many weeks are, you know?
Well, by the
somebody has
way,
a
whatever
blowout
he's
game?
talking about is what's in place for this year. That's already in place.
Okay.
So that's what's going on.
We're just talking about next year.
The only thing I'm talking about is staying
Okay.
with
I thought we
that.
were talking about voting this year.
No, we're staying about. We're talking about staying with that. We're going to create an acquisition budget.
I like the original
book.
option that we
Okay.
talked about. The one where it's,
Ken, please.
you
Look,
skip people or
The way
something.
I always looked at waiver wire for the last however long I've been doing fantasy football is the people who are actually paying attention to what's going on are the ones that jump on the freaking waiver wire and get the guys, you know,
That's why
pick
we
people
put the
off the
waiver
waiver
wire
wire. So if you are the first person, period, to say, I want this person because I see something in there, what does it matter if that person is number 1 or number 12? Then if they're number 1, that means, hey, they're number 1 for a reason because they're actually paying attention to the league and what's going on. If number 12 wants to get better, number 12 needs to step up their fucking game, their research, and get in there and freaking get that person before anybody else.
Let me.
What does it matter about priority?
That's a great
Get your
point.
game together.
That's a great point.
Let
Let
me
me.
go.
I
I have my hand up first. I haven't talked the whole time.
guys, I wanted to just kind of let me get him real quick.
No, I was.
The year before you got, or do you want to?
It was a counterpoint. Basically, like I didn't always have a 9-to-5 job where I wasn't working weekends, so I couldn't see players get hurt and pick up their replacements, so it was unfair to me in that aspect.
Yeah.
But now that I do, if we all
We
open on Sundays.
We just put waivers in last.
I work my ass off.
So we were doing like that before.
Right.
There was I can't stay up till
That's how
12:30 watch
Yeah.
football game on Thursday
There were
night.
some people watching
Yeah,
every
it's not
Monday
fair.
night until 12 o'clock at night when everybody else had a job, but some people were still in college. They were watching. and were
I
scooping
can't
out
imagine who
every
we're talking
free
about.
Two chance. There were
Two
plenty
chance.
of times that I missed out on Thursday night, action because hey, I had to be up early and I couldn't watch
That's,
the game.
that's why we
But
have
at
the
the same
waiver
time,
to
that's-
eliminate
That's what we need.
people scooping up all the good players when in front of everybody.
Somebody
Yeah,
doesn't.
and
Everybody doesn't
I
have a
get that, but
microscope.
to me, it's now you're introducing all this confusion and debate and topic, and all of a sudden you're talking about video.
It's
and
needed
that.
debate.
Whereas if you're just paying attention and doing your job as
That's
a
okay.
But some
league
people pay
owner, then you
too
are
much
on your
attention.
shit.
Neil,
We got
Mike,
like
those two, you guys pay a
Those
lot.
are-
no,
Hey,
I-
walk in.
Chris,
before you came in the league, we had this problem,
Right?
Yeah.
and it was on Mike. He would stay up and grab everybody that made a special play. He would grab.
But to grab a special player or a potential
It had
special
nothing to do with
player, he
research,
still
though.
got to give up somebody. And
He's not giving up somebody that's hot though. You picking up somebody that's hot.
Yeah.
That's fine.
so but like I said, that's
That's
the
why
way I've
we
always
like
done
waivers.
waivers. Yeah, that's why I've always
I
done
mean,
waivers.
if everybody,
Yeah.
if nobody worked on any Sundays and we all could watch games, and that was
Yeah.
great, but
Alright,
the
so
whole thing we live in.
I work just as much as the next person.
That's Ken, you got
Me
good
too.
points, man.
I'm
I
paying
think
attention as much
I
as
think
I
it's
can.
one of the league though
There's
we were
some
kind
nights.
of.
That's why those little
Kind of waiver
alerts on your
thing
phone are
around.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I think you would
Yeah,
actually be a
but
proponent
there were
for
times-
the acquisition budget.
there were
You're doing
times-
Tom's on
because
too.
it's the
so
same
I'm
time.
actually-
My
Still
lifeblood,
bid.
my lifeblood is waivers because I do pay attention.
You Jordan Reed it.
And on the last
Well, I did Jordan.
I could drive
I
60
before the
miles
season
west
started,
and
I-
'cause I knew. But
I knew you get hurt, but you never fucking did.
yeah, I know, right?
I gotta
But
Loser drinks
you know, I
5:30 in
just
the morning.
I can't stay
I
up
pay attention.
on Monday
And so my
night
life's
watching
what? Hell, last year I didn't
the
draft my
game.
team at all.
Put up
Well,
two
The
make
first
our
5,
the
6
waiver
weeks I got
wire
my
start
ass kicked.
Tuesday.
I built my team off the waiver
You
wire.
built a team.
That's what it
By
does.
paying
Starts at
attention.
6 a.m.
By paying attention to what was going on, that's how it's
But just
competitive.
because
I
you
went
put
down
in
to the
money doesn't
playoffs
mean
last
you
year.
get to it.
Exactly.
It's all about.
All right, guys. So next item on the ballot, okay? So I think what we've agreed to for this year, it sounds like keeping the waivers as is.
Yeah.
Is that the case? Hands that want to keep it as is, which is what Matt described.
For
All right. So
Oh,
so next year we're gonna revisit auction next
Okay.
year, okay?
After the draft this year, we'll talk about
Now,
it.
here's the thing though, because I eventually want to get to an auction draft, and I don't want to blow
With
your
money?
minds.
With money? Like fake money?
Fake money. Do you like those?
No.
You like your own money, don't you? All right. So that was the next item on the bid. Let me
all
just
of us are money guys.
let me just explain what. All right. So what we do now?
I'm money guy.
All right. Next item on the bid.
I make my 45K a year.
Some Montage Pro.
No, I'm
Just
saying,
saying.
I'm saying I just don't feel
Uh,
like paying for players. It's like drafting and drafting.
Let me get just like 5 more minutes real quick.
Yeah.
So the next thing up, and this is one of the last ones here, is snake draft versus auction draft. So this is something I don't think will ever pass this year. Something I want to talk about for next year. So snake draft is where you get first pick and then you get 24th pick, yada yada yada, back and forth, back and forth. So auction is where you get $200 budget and you can bid on players as you see fit, and it's fair. Anybody can bid any time. I did an auction draft the other day where I was able to get Odell Beckham and Antonio Brown together. My running backs look like ass, but I was able to get those two guys. So it makes it where you can pick the team you actually want, just depending on how much money you want to spend. What it does brings lots more strategy into it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
less than just picking off a sheet. So I would love to go to auction draft next year. I was trying to do the free agent acquisition budget sort of buffer to get y'all used to that. What's the consent? Hands up if y'all are interested in auction draft for next year potentially. Potentially not saying yes, but if you
Interesting.
want to learn more about it.
It's like
And I mean,
it's like send me a YouTube
Yeah.
video link of like that going on, like maybe I'll watch it.
don't be afraid to change, Republicans. I know you got some hard R's in here. Come on now.
I mean, I'm interested.
Yeah, this is the first year of a PPR league we've had. I mean, we're
I
still
know.
the
I'll tell you,
I mean,
but keep fresh roll, whenever make change, baby.
Here's what I'd like to do. I know
You
we're
elect me
I know-
president, I will make this league great again. I will bring back no waivers, no PPR,
You're going back standard.
I'll bring it in.
free buy-ins.
Hell,
We're
I
gonna
had
build a
this
wall.
league, what,
It's
2
gonna be a
QBs in
luxurious
5
wall.
years, boys.
Jesus.
I know this year that we're doing the half point PPR, but I'd like to revisit here about week 3, week 4.
And
About
double check.
1 point PPR.
Full point
If we go
PPR,
4 point
yes.
PPR,
Well, I never
Wait. No, we can't do that like after the draft because
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
be
no,
drafting
no,
based
no,
on
next
that.
year.
For the
Oh,
next year.
Okay.
Get
Okay.
it?
I'm shocked. Why didn't we just go full point PPR from the get go?
Because
Because
it's
you don't just fucking dive
I don't know. I don't know who wanted to. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
so-
If you're gonna go PPR, why not just go PPR?
because it's good to try
It's
everything.
called
and see
points
which
per
one the truth
reception.
is.
It's called just
It's
the
because
tip.
our commissioner's
Just
been
the
against
tip.
PPR for years.
I have not
Yeah.
been against
Yeah.
PPR for
Yeah.
It's not HPPR.
You have been against
I've
PPR.
not against PPR.
There
Because I know
are
we're
multiple
gonna pass,
occasions
but
where I
we're
heard
gonna
you
go.
say,
Right.
I don't think Darren Sproles should get more points than a full-fledged running back.
Danny Woodhead had him last
Oh
year.
my
He's
God,
like
Danny
top
Woodhead.
4.
Well, yeah, we can revisit
I'll
that.
I'll
in the spirit of the
do it.
Has
game.
anybody else heard Mike say that before?
I mean,
About
that's,
Darren Sproles?
it's kind of a valid point.
All right, guys.
He is a workhorse.
Let me hit the last
He
one.
can't
We
be
go ahead
rewarded
and
for
PPR
a touch
discussion.
attorney. So
Guys, give me like
make
2
it
seconds. This is
up.
quick and easy. Quick and easy.
Order! Let Mike talk.
I think.
Neil.
Yeah, I think this has been fixed for this year. Last year we had kicker scoring kind of out of whack a little bit. Want to go back to the extra point on being worth 1 point, even though it's further out. Looks like the league didn't really adjust. They're still hitting them at the same rate.
Actually, no, they're not. They're actually it's about 30 to 40% miss rate higher.
Yeah.
Is it
few
really?
people
I
miss.
think
There
that's
is.
the sole
I just
reason that
what I don't
like
want to do
say
is
the same.
overvalue a kicker.
Yeah, because I brought that up.
Because-
So I
Well,
want to get
actually,
kickers.
I don't think any
Yeah,
kicker
that's
will
about
ever
15
be
points.
I think I
overvalued.
had 23 at one point.
Yeah.
Matt Prater.
I'd say this: the top
Yeah.
12 kickers
Justin Tucker.
will always be picked.
Points.
Can we agree? What I want to do is just bring back the point after attempt to 1 point.
From 2 to 1.
To 1
I
point.
like that.
All in favor?
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I mean, that's.
Point
Wait,
after
wait.
attempt to 1 point.
From
Oh,
two
yeah,
to
a
one.
PAT is
It was
1 point to
42.
1 point.
It's 2.
It was
Bring
set
back
for
1 point.
2.
What
What
we're
about
doing
one
is
and a
just
half?
I mean, if we're doing
This is
PPR,
dumb.
No, this
it's kicker.
Damn it, you ball.
why not? If we're doing
Why are you
PPR,
saying
that
fucking
doesn't
compromise?
offset that
They're
scoring
kicking
anyway.
further away.
Yeah.
So-
Half a point.
Yeah.
Last year I didn't do this.
1 point per rush
When I watched
attempt.
both leagues and ours,
For
we had
kickers?
so much chance.
Here's the thing.
How about this?
Can I?
How about this?
I think one.
It's not mine either way. I just
While we are in
we're already doing
the
PPR.
League of Rookies
That's
discussion,
go back to one.
I'll talk about leagues.
Yeah.
You said, get the fuck out of here.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
You're disrespectful.
But it's like-
Disrespecting me.
There should be no talk about other leagues while we're in this
Yes.
discussion.
Yes.
Whoever's kicking for Pittsburgh
Yes.
gets
Is
4.
there any other leagues trying out for Michigan to go to? No!
There is one thing
Thou shalt
that
have
I
no other
wanted
leagues
to
for
bring.
this.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I wanted to bring.
Yeah, Brent, please.
It was in the booklet that I made a
Hey,
rule.
that's my
Nobody
book.
read.
I made a rule,
Bylaw.
and
That was well written, by the way.
I didn't read it.
I'll give that up
there
to
is
you.
a new rule that I put in place.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hold on.
But
Whoa.
but
Was it
y'all vote
We
on it.
vote on everything.
Y'all vote on it.
now.
Maybe
I put it in here,
maybe
and
other
y'all
league
vote
voted
on
it.
That would
Burn that fucking book. Burn that fucking book.
That wouldn't happen under Trump.
Goddamn right it would.
All right, guys, get Mike the floor. Let's go.
He built a fucking wall around that book.
Mike,
All right,
let's
all
go
right,
the floor.
go,
Let's
Mike,
go.
go.
Let's go.
Okay.
You can.
I bet that book
I
was made in
take-
fucking China.
Whoa! This
This is what I take
thing.
it
You
very,
split it two ethnically.
very seriously.
Trump.
Because in the past few
It's been
years, that
racing.
it's been kind of pushed,
It was.
and it's the 2-minute rule.
Oh,
Oh,
wait, 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 wait.
It's when-
Hold on, hold on. Let's finish this kick thing because I want to go into that, but I want to finish this kick.
Okay.
I think we've
All
already.
in favor? 1 point,
we
point
already-
after 10.
we already
Raise your hand.
voted.
It was, yeah, that's
Did
passed.
they-
Can I say
That's
something real
passed.
quick about the? Yeah, can I say something about the kicking thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't
No,
matter
it's
if it's
nothing
2
over
points or
here.
1 point because the ratio is the same.
I actually lost 2 games last year because kickers get 2 points.
Yeah, but the other kicker, it would have had the same amount
if
of
they
points too.
score, if the game
So
is tied.
basically, you would have taken your kicker scores and just divided them in half.
No,
And
my
they both-
kicker.
You're
my
in favor
kicker
of
only
1
hit.
point, 1 point, 1
Long
point,
field
1
goal.
point, 1 point.
He didn't actually kick.
Who all was in favor 1 point?
I think everybody was in favor.
Oh, that's different.
I'll
I was
take
talking about
that.
PATs,
Alright,
right?
9-12.
PATs going for 2
Right,
rounds.
my kicking,
I think it was
my
12-12.
kicker would have scored
Well,
exactly
we had-
the same. They didn't score the touchdown.
Well,
So I got beat because
That's fine.
Let the record
Okay.
state that
4
the
touchdowns.
kick
I got you.
1 point rule has been approved.
Is
It
that
doesn't matter.
this year or
At
next
one point,
year?
I lost my 2
This
points.
is this year. Okay.
That's a this year vote. 1 point PAT.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm good with that.
That's
Right,
that's
stamp it.
next league's anyway.
Okay.
All right,
Here's
on to Mike.
Mushroom stamp.
Okay. This is
2
the
minute
this year vote. I'll keep it really, really simple. 2
What?
points.
If you don't
But,
pick
uh,
within 2 minutes, you pick at the end of the draft.
What?
What? Say it
Yeah.
again.
If you go over the 2-minute limit, you automatically get a free agent from that point.
Oh, I like that.
Time about.
If you go over 2 minutes picking a person,
Neil.
you lose that pick.
I think,
Well, yeah, let me
I
say
think
this.
that's
You
being
went over 2
insensitive
minutes,
to
somebody's
our
lost some
remote
shit.
in people.
Can we,
Because you had to.
I gotta call my boy in Philly. They're staple.
We all know who it is.
Here's one thing. At the end of the draft,
Look now.
things get convoluted build on who's been picked. We gotta have some sort of way to keep track so people don't have to like figure out if somebody's picked or not.
That's what they're looking for.
Okay, all right. Well,
Mark
I'm glad you made
guys.
it.
Red
Okay,
pen,
fair.
don't get too
We got
wet.
red and green pins for
All right, it's
everybody.
on them if they can't figure it out.
All right.
The reason it was so fucking slow last year is because you had 3 people out fucking smoking cigarettes.
Well,
while
then
one
that's
person's
their
supposed to
fault.
be picking, you know, and
Drunk
it's
people.
all spread.
How about this?
That-
Somebody
I'll
talking
tell you
to
this.
somebody.
No,
from-
we-
I don't know,
we-
We should be
Every 3
insensitive to the
rounds.
cigarette
I missed
smoking.
3
5-minute break.
I can do that.
How many picks?
What?
Like
Every
every
3 rounds.
round?
Take
Every 3
5
rounds?
No, every 3 rounds, 5-minute break.
So wait, 3 rounds,
So you can make your
12 times
strategy
2,
phone
24.
calls and shit like that.
24
Yeah.
times 3 is
157.
Okay.
Alright, how about every 4 rounds then?
No, 3 rounds.
no 3.
Three
I was gonna say less.
Whoa, whoa,
We literally have-
4 rounds. Don't get that. That's crazy. 3 rounds.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
So-
no,
Or something.
3 or
I thought
4.
it was
Let's
too
do
long.
3 or 4 rounds.
Three for sure.
Okay.
Here's
Every
the
3
thing.
rounds, we
As
take
a
5-minute
former
break.
smoker,
Yeah.
I'll even say 2 rounds.
3 minutes.
But I can't. I
5-minute break.
Well,
Okay.
10-minute break.
Listen.
Stop smoking
Write that
cigarettes.
down somewhere.
Take up dip.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
don't forget
gotta go
For a day.
Instead of
I used to smoke. I understand. I
you
took it
gotta
out.
make them get the next best available. Doesn't matter if they already have.
You have that in, bro.
Hey, you want my pills?
I don't know. It's
There
Hey.
it is. Right here.
It's my pen. So.
No, it's just got,
Oh,
it's got to be a
okay.
penalty.
it has to be a
You
penalty.
can still pick up somebody who's fucking awesome. Like, Neil might not have picked.
There were some undrafted people last
But
year that turned
the
out to
next
be.
guy
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like it's.
It's not the end of the world penalty, but
Yeah,
it's
that
a
match
good
needed to
penalty.
be-
Dude,
Let's
that was
Let's be on this
far-fetched
shit
though.
then.
Dave,
Are you serious? Did
Mike,
you look through our
we haven't
stickers
voted
last
on
year?
the
There were
actual
several
2-minute vote
people
yet.
No, we have.
undrafted that are decent.
But
If they were undrafted minutes, be a free agent in the end. I agree.
hold them up.
I go with it.
I'm good with you.
Wait.
There we
You
go.
can figure it out within 2 minutes.
2-minute break
Go
every
fuck
3
yourself.
rounds.
5-minute break.
It's not like a
Mom,
fuck
can
yourself.
Can we take a
That's why
step
you're not
forward?
paying
Can we do
attention.
like 60 seconds for the first 3
I've
rounds?
definitely done that for the past.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's a little bit pressure.
Yeah.
That's
No,
too
I
much
think it
now.
should be.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Here's
you
the
just
thing.
got an ass fucking now.
Here's the thing. If you already know what's going on, the first 3 rounds should go relatively quick.
They
They always do.
Those are the fastest.
But
It gets-
the
Unless you
ones
call
that
everybody
that
Philly.
very suck are the ones that are like 7 through 15.
Yeah. So then you
Those
know.
are the ones that last.
Then you know. Hey, pay attention.
Here's how I picked most of mine last year. Next available player is best.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
keep yelling that.
Exactly. I've got a strategy in my head.
Xavier
of how I'm
Smith is still
gonna play.
available.
I don't know how
He said that several times.
You do remember I got Jordy Nelson in the 11th one year because people couldn't figure out who was picked and who wasn't picked.
Where's the trash can down here?
So.
Right
Right
behind
behind
you.
you.
Image Mall,
Right.
Are you talking about a bag?
There's no ladder.
Let's get a trash bag from upstairs, or not a trash bag, but a
Hey, do you know where they are?
They're up your ass, you know. Over.
trash bag.
Yeah. Where, do you know where they
No,
are?
the garbage. Or,
Do you know where they are?
Hey, checking this room out.
Joe
Hey,
likes up
checking
there
that
all
room.
the
There's
time.
probably
It's your house.
Good point.
It's your house.
that is my house.
This house is way too
And I
nice.
choose to not give a fuck.
And I'm gonna lock every fucking door and push you out tonight.
Here we got one roll.
And I can use the key card.
Why?
So,
That's what it changed.
There is no good ball.
Draft.
Yeah, let's draft.
Alright, we're jabbing.
You guys want to draft a 9-team league real quick?
I think we should pick
For
that
15
cool.
bucks?
9-team league?
For 15 bucks? We're
We
here.
don't have to keep track of it and shit. so.
And here's what I think we should do if we did
So
this.
you just want PPR,
Draft order.
budget, auction draft.
Draft order should be whoever raises their hand first.
Okay.
I got first
Second,
pick.
oh, third.
Third pick.
I don't care. I want like number 5.
Michael.
Okay, I'll
Michael,
I
Who
got
wants
12.
to die?
I
Because I'm ready to
I got
fight.
Michael. Do you have draft order figured out? I mean,
No.
We're doing it same as always.
Same as always.
Shotgun beers.
Let's do it now.
No,
Oh.
so the shotgun beers is just something we do.
So,
It's
well, wait a minute. I got a question about this.
Right.
We're shotgunning beers, but there's what, 3 people that are going to be here?
We'll put their
Yeah,
cans
yeah,
outside.
pull their
You pick a
cans
can.
forward.
That's what it is. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have
you
to
pick
pick
a
a
Write
can.
the number on the can, and then.
Trust me, there is a way we
Oh,
developed
yeah,
a way
that's
where
the way.
you have no
I mean,
fucking
they're not here,
idea.
though.
Who here's got, like, you have to
They're not here, yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's
Should
what
you have
I
like
was
golf
saying.
scores?
One,
Fuck
two.
it. All right.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hey,
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
right here.
Who are we missing? Who we actually missing
You
that's
guys
actually going
think
to
about
be
strategy and shit.
Jen.
Logan and Jim.
Jen and
Logan? So we need to wait.
Yes.
We need to
What
wait.
we can do is fucking
I-
party and drink tonight and celebrate.
Wait,
the
wait,
same
wait.
way.
That was the last
How are we gonna decide when
Question.
Logan's draft pick status?
Chris.
Wait,
what?
That's what I'm asking.
What?
So when 12
So you
people
got
are
to fit
when 12 people are here pulling cans out of the thing,
It's still random though.
The last two
first,
that
and the last two remain.
the last two
It's not
available.
all we had to go on.
Also,
we do
the
this.
second question: are we playing there tomorrow?
Willow
What?
Creek, yes.
Well,
Yes,
right
Willow
here.
Creek.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking.
I have one more thing.
Are we all playing?
Good.
Yeah, I am.
I'm playing.
Playing.
Quarterback.
Small player.
Not
Holy
frisbee
shit, I
golf.
can't believe I played
Just
golf.
so you know, it's not frisbee
I
golf.
have one more rule.
To make it feel
Business
better,
to go
I
through.
see a lot of black
So,
guys on the
Corey,
golf course.
I want to just
Yeah,
ask.
they take it more serious than I
They
do.
usually carry
Some of them play
You
$1,000
just can't-
golf.
It's like, no, it's like, it's a good thing you see a lot of guys play golf because there's
Okay,
a lot of
we're
black
gonna
guys.
figure it out.
Well, the
What's
top
up?
argument against everybody being there was, oh no,
Yeah,
besides
who else has
Chris,
that?
never mind.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
We're not going to
That's
want
good.
Win, James, or Logan on the competition anyway.
Just chill.
Hey, we
And you can always nominate Chris.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Uh,
Okay, so 2 more orders of business, guys. Corey brought up a great point. So let me get to that in a minute because that's our final order of business tonight. My next order of business though, is something I completely forgot to write down, but it's huge. It's draft orders. We're doing 2-year keepers now. I don't think draft orders should be picked at random anymore. I think it should be picked in some sort of order
No.
because you want to keep competition as fair as possible.
I went from
So-
1st to 12th in 2 years.
Yeah, come on, but you got to work
Yeah,
fast.
that's crazy.
It's crazy. So, for all the rest of us clips, anybody up for doing some sort of opposite, like, so one thing I
That's
saw
right,
was you do opposite finish, or I've seen somewhere you can do like your top 6, they go into a lottery, your bottom 6 go into a lottery. And then that way you can kind of figure it out. Your bottom 6 are going to get to pick. Your bottom 6 will pick the first 6 picks the next year, and your top 6 picks will pick the bottom 6 picks the next year.
That does seem very fucking
I
complicated.
think,
I know it's
I think we
complicated.
already kind of have a system in place that if you want to trade your pick for like maybe a keeper, isn't that like the same thing?
But here's the problem: we don't know when we're
I don't
going to be
like that.
picking until day of or day before.
True.
We need to know before then. That's
you
my problem.
still know what round you're losing, though.
Yes.
But hey, man, I'm telling
You
you,
lose your first round pick. You lose your first round
the
pick.
first pick
But
in
if
the
you can-
second round is a hell of a lot different than the first pick in the first round. Or excuse me, the first pick in what was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, the first pick in the second round is a lot different than the first pick in the first round. Yeah, because if you're your 12th pick in the first round, your first pick in the second round, the first pick in the first round is the 24th pick in the second round. Those are big gaps. Those are huge gaps. That's big players, right?
Well, that's
Well,
that's to do with
you
the
can't
snake
change
though.
This is
that,
the basic
though.
concept of
You can't
market
change
price.
that stuff.
So what you need to do is, I'm just saying, what it fixes, we need to figure it out way before the draft.
I think if we're gonna
So we
change
trade
it,
picks.
we should do it like the NFL. You get first place, your last pick, and we do away with the snake. We go first to last, first to last, first to last.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, because it's kind of
That evens out the balance.
Betty's like, yeah, not that.
No, it won't be for this year.
But if you're looking for fairness,
Yeah.
and there's a reason the
That's the
NFL does it.
NFL.
There's a reason the NFL does it because it
Balances
gives
out.
balance to the exactly. Just
Plus
like
you-
it
you
gives
also-
the last place
yeah.
competition.
I like
to get my dynasty to come
Yeah,
back.
keeper league,
just
that
like in
works.
the NFL, you can
For
trade.
Dynasty, I
Yeah.
would say yes. For a 2-person keeper, I don't think it's appropriate. For Dynasty, absolutely. Dynasty get 8 or more. But for 2-person keeper, I think it's a great idea. But I don't
Might
think
be
it'll
right, because you're gonna have a completely different team each year.
I think it'd be cool to keep the snake with,
work.
like, if you come in last or first place, you pick last, because then you get those 2 picks.
Yes.
My only ask is that we can figure out who's picking in what order earlier. That's all I want to know. That's all I want. So I can figure out so we make draft pick trades and they're reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
There could. I agree because
Yeah, I agree with
the
that.
golf course is a place to do business, all right?
What?
So
Agreed.
you
What
know,
other rules can we
Only in
come up with
Japan.
that completely fuck Mike? Because all we need is a majority right now.
Yeah.
So we can fuck Mike.
I
If your
say-
name starts with it, never mind, that won't work.
Hold on.
Yeah, but
If your mom is hot, then
or starts with a J.
no, but honestly, though, I mean, Matt, I'm with you though. Just keep a consistent order. Last, you know, if you came in 32nd, you're going to be the first round draft pick.
I've never really liked the snake because the 12th spot is actually a pretty good spot to be in.
It's a great spot to be in. But the first spot is a great spot to be in as well.
Yeah.
Well,
like
The,
six,
the first spot is a great
Six
spot.
and seven.
You get that first.
But I finished well enough that I'd be in 5, 6, or 7 anyway. So fuck it. Let's do it.
Let me just throw this out. When they do the regular draft in football, there are a bunch of improvers that come from college and wherever they come from most of college. When we're doing our drafts,